Hey, this is Dan from Wrench AI. Wanted to give you a really quick overview of the Wrench platform. We basically wanted to build a tool that dealt with the issues presented by Web 2.0 and quite frankly over the last 10-ish years where CRMs got bigger, they got more a part of your business. But quite frankly, in many ways, they got more data, they got more, they didn't get better. In many ways, they kind of just act like a megaphone. They let you make the same mistakes on a larger scale. They can disrupt more people on more platforms with more ads. But they really didn't do that much in the way of making us better at our jobs in terms of understanding who our clients are, what type of messages they're more likely to resonate with, at least not without doing it without violating privacy. So we found there was just a big disconnect between what the marketing, sales, and customer service teams actually needed to know, the data that the data teams were asking for, and a bunch of those CRMs, they'd ingest data just to not even do anything with it. So we built a tool that would basically do that research, basically 2-ish hours per person of research for you. It would distill those insights into one-on-one recommendations for your sales and your customer support teams to basically understand who they're talking to, what type of messages are more likely to resonate, to kind of meet them on their level. And then we aggregated those into campaign prescriptions for your marketing team based off of the aggregate population. This is what we see. This is what we suggest for, say, your A/B testing or multivariate testing. And we've actually now even added custom AI service models to get you even better fits, which means we scale these scores. And for large enterprise clients with more than 50,000 contacts, we can custom tune your models for you so they get that much smarter. So that all sounds really great, but what does it actually look like? Once you upload your Wrench database, it connects and it sits side by side with your CRM. So your existing tools stay in place. This basically just does the research, generates the insights, and then sends the data back to your CRM for you. So if you log into your Wrench screen after we've populated your campaigns and put your products in, you'll see that like usually your custom stuff shows up at the top of the screen, but we can match against 80 different industries. And if you're like a fundraising platform, or if you're oftentimes dealing with new products, people are throwing stuff out of left field for you, this allows you to build something that is a completely custom, never seen this before idea, and actually understand who within our population already knows a lot about this. Who's an innovator, who's an early adopter, who's a late adopter. This basically allows you to custom tailor the message on, all right, who's sophisticated enough so we can use industry jargon. They don't need education and training. We can just jump to decisioning, and who actually needs some help with education to kind of get them over the hump. We do the research not to just figure out where they're available, but what they prefer to be or how they prefer to be contacted. We've researched the influencers to detect people with high celebrity potential on the web, either on social networks or celebrity status. We've identified bloggers for you. We've identified journalists, people that are associated with larger publications. So these are great for crisis management, fantastic for doing endorsements, fantastic for doing exclusives and product reviews, and same thing. You can cross-reference your matches against any product that you're currently working with, any company you're currently working with, or even just screwing around, you can mix and match to see, all right, who do we know in broadcasting TV that already knows a lot about crypto? Once you get from there, we've analyzed the personality types against 5 dimensions in what's called the Big Ocean strategy to basically understand who we're talking to, how open to new experiences they are, what their level of organizational planning and strategic thinking is, extroversion versus introversion, agreeableness, and emotional responsive and neuroticism. We can use that to look at, so as an example, this population, highly open to new experience, very, very strategic thinkers. Introverts, middle of the roadish when it comes to agreeableness. They're not pushovers, they're not stubborn either. And they are low neurotic, meaning they're very stable individuals. They're going to sit back and think, and you're not going to convince them with like a fear of missing out, you better act now type of play. So it's automatically done the math on that population to say, well, that type of population, messaging strategy would be comparison. So contrast the qualities and benefits of your product versus your competitors and market. It's saying do your homework. They're data driven. It's already doing the math. And if you're on the marketing team right now, you're going, oh, that's how we should probably do A/B and multivariate testing from now on, instead of just guessing. And the rest of you are just finding out that most marketers, yes, they do just guess most of the time. This allows you to avoid that. So this is kind of a high-level overview of your aggregate population. You can jump in and we automatically have those campaign recommendations, so you can get per person or automatically segmented or sub-segmented groups within your population to do stuff like new product feedback. If we are launching a brand new product, Same thing. Let's go ahead and do one with the client. The automatically populate. All right, so this is Wrench from Parkour, and it's one of our product lines, so they're highly correlated. It's automatically segmenting the ideal population to send this to. It's giving us prescription of who and what and why or how we're doing it. And it's giving us the campaign copy that even literally suggests, hey, here's the basic premise of what you're going to want to say. Now, your job as the marketer or the person distributing this message is, now that it's relevant and it's highly targeted, micro-targeted even, is to make this really special by coming up with the creative angle that really works with this messaging strategy to this population about your product. And quite frankly, that's where AI usually still comes up very short. It's much more of a process automation tool than a complete creative tool. Your job is not going away. Your job is just to focus on making a much more meaningful message and a much more meaningful relationship now. So you can take all that data, you can export all of this data straight into a CSV file, or you connect it to your CRM, and you can get, and our job is to ideally allow you to use your existing CRM without much of a change, which means you already know how to use it. We're just giving you the insights that you didn't yet have. And with a very short training of like an hour, your reps can be using this and understanding how they relate to themselves by basically aligning and referencing their score versus someone else's. You can match personality types together, which is very highly influential in terms of having a good experience. We can tell you someone's product sophistication, so you can understand how much education is required before they have the ability to make a buying decision. And if you're connected to the Wrench database, we can do all this on an ongoing basis with more and more events. To get it smarter and smarter, more recent, more highly engaged, and more relevant to your user population. And all of this data is public data. It is SEC data. It is licensed or purchased from GDPR compliant data providers. This is not something you need to apologize for knowing. This is like looking and doing a really deep dive on someone's LinkedIn profile and things like that. So, if you have any other questions, we'd like to hear from you. I'm Dan at Wrench AI, and appreciate your time. Thanks.